Hello and welcome to the Quiver channel. I am Jason, your host. I hope you're all having a splendiferous day. Been up most of the night due to, well, something I'm going to talk about a bit later today. But for now, let's talk about my room and how it's set up now, because I now have most of my retro stuff out, all set up and working. And it feels more and more like a safe room to me, a place to distract my brain, to give me a space, to give me a breathing spot, and to help so that I don't have to put as much effort. See, every coping strategy takes effort, takes mental energy, and it can be extremely exhausting mentally. So if by creating physical anchors for all of that, you are taking the weight off your mind. So it works better, it works easier. I don't have to convince myself as much that I'm back using when I used to spend time on the original Xbox. If I've got an original Xbox set up and I've got the controller in my hand, it's easier to slip into that mode, to just let go. So let's take a look around my room. So this is the place you know well. It's got my main computer, which I'm sitting at now. It's got my retro PC next to it. All set up. I can just take this chair and move across quite easily from there to there. Nice thing about this chair, with its really nice, is I can wheel around to every part of this room and be able to use them. So let's change to the other part you've seen before, although it's had some modification. This one, the big, I think it is a 65-inch TV now, and basically that has got my original Xbox that's modified, Spectrum 48K. I played a game of Chaos Wizards this morning on there. That's working fine. The little yellow box behind the actual Spectrum is a digital audio tape player, so basically I've got all the files for the game, Spectrum games on there, and I can just run them through, and it loads them into the Spectrum as if you're using a normal tape player. This is an amazing thing for the modern Spectrum stuff. Because one of the problems is, even if you've got the original tapes, playing them these days after 20-30 years, you're going to damage them, you're going to break them, and even if you make recordings of them and so on. So having it digitally in that version means you can play them over and over again. You can load them into the system and you're not doing any harm at all. And my tablet computer, the reality modeling tool, is sitting there. That is set up with the 20 terabyte emulation drive, which has basically nearly every game in existence on it, all connected. All of those three are connected into that system. Now there's room for one more system, which is coming later. It should be on the way soon. That's going to sit just underneath the desk, the side. It's actually a modified 360. So yeah, that's that bit done. Well, as done as it's going to be. That's the wall behind me, straight behind you. You can see it usually in the background. That's got the A1200 connected to the dual monitor setup, and next to it is the A500. The A500 being there is just a placeholder. There's other options for that little section there. So, and above that I've got my Quest 3 and all the bits and pieces there. So now the one that I stored, midnight last night I started to do this because my brain just said, you've got some spare desks underneath your bed that you disassembled last year. Could you put them against the mirror and not take up too much space of your VR room? And I thought, I can actually do that. And so this is what I came up with last night and what I worked on when I couldn't sleep. I've got my PS2 and my Atari 2600 both connected to the CRT. And then I've got my 2 Steam Decks with a keyboard and mouse set ready to be set up with a monitor there for using the desktop with the Steam Decks. And it looks really well, and it basically is just, if I just turn that off, if I move my seat out, you can just see it right there. Yeah, and I can just move straight around here and be in perfect position to use it all with no problems. I'm getting the one thing, everything I've done, I haven't had to add any more money. There's been no money spent or anything, except for I've ordered a few of the soft plastic corner things because I don't want to damage my chair with accidentally pushing back on it. So everything is set up and I am so happy about it being all like this. It all makes such a difference to have it all out to your use. We've gone also I'm going to be saving up over the next couple of months for something downstairs, which is really it's the last thing. It's something I've really wanted for a long time, and that is a proper arcade style machine. Now, I talked to my friends last night, and then I can't really chance buying an original Space Invaders or something like that. They're too expensive. They really are. They're beautiful, and I would love to have one, but it would. I don't know anybody who fixes CRTs, and so unfortunately these ones I'm very lucky. The ones I've got, the 2 CRTs, are really good quality, were refurbished, and they're in good condition. But what we're going to go for, see, the living room doesn't have space. We've checked everywhere. I've talked to my friends, and there's just nowhere in my house I could fit an arcade machine up against a wall. There just is not any space anywhere. So what we've decided on is one of what's called coffee table ones. The ones that are actually a table and the unit is inside it. Now, we're not going to go for an old one because the chance of them being in good condition and actually staying that way with use. So going to go for one of the what's called a jammer unit, which is you load the ROMs up on it and it actually works really well. And so basically you can sit on one side and you can do 2-player stuff, or you can sit in the primary position and sit on your sofa, like I'll sit on the sofa and have it instead of the table that I've got there at the moment. The table in the centre of the thingy. That table is foldable, so I'll just fold it away for use at some other time. And so yeah, I will. That is the long-term buy. It's going to be. I'm going to be saving up over the coming months. There's a few items around the house that I might sell. But I'm not going to sell anything that I use. Like, for example, I'm going to definitely sell my Apple Watch. I don't wear it anymore. I don't use it anymore. It was just a test thing, and it was pretty much free as part of a contract that I paid off. Because I have my Garmin watch that I wear all the time, and my Whoop. I don't need it, so that can go. And there's a few other items like that I can build up the money for it with, and then that'll be bought for downstairs, and I'll show you that once it's in. Because that is one thing I haven't got. I've got all the retro stuff and that, but that is one iconic time in my life when I was between 8 and 9 years old, down in Tenby in Wales with my dad and my mum and sister, and I saw my first Space Invaders machine, and I got to play it, and it was glorious. I didn't even go on the beach that 2 weeks. I didn't go on the beach or anything. They just left me at the little chip shop where this machine had been delivered, and I was just so happy. This is what caused my dad to buy me a Atari 2600 with Space Invaders. So yeah, that's for the future. That's the last piece of the puzzle. And all these things help me cope, help my brain deal with the issues that it faces in a way that means I can function, I can live alone, I can be independent. Yes, at 5 a.m. this morning, my brain said, hey, you need to shave your hair off, it's too long. Yeah, that's what happened this morning. So that's why I don't have any hair left this morning, because at 5 a.m. my brain just went, hey, I'm not going to let you do anything else until you do this, because I've noticed your hair's there, and therefore it's bothering you, and you'll not be able to sleep, you'll not be able to go and make breakfast, you'll not be able to do anything else until your hair is gone. So that had to happen. So this is Jason for the Quibber channel. I hope you're all having a wonderful morning.